Okay, I have to be completely honest with you to kick things off today.
Oh, yeah.
When I first opened the source packet for this deep dive, I thought there had been a mistake. I saw the title of the main article, and I legitimately thought we were being pranked.
It is
Uh-huh.
definitely arresting. It grabs you by the throat immediately.
The article comes from a publication called Money Sex Nerd, written by Ryan Collison, and the title is, and I'm quoting this verbatim here, "The Riddler is a Cuck."
Yeah.
Intellectually?
Yeah. I mean, it's provocative. It is blunt. And if you're a Batman fan, your immediate reaction is probably, defensive. You think, okay, this is just edgy internet nonsense.
That was exactly my first thought. I thought we were in for a massive clickbait ride, but then I actually sat down and read the analysis. And the terrifying thing is, it works. It works almost too well.
It really does. Once you get past the shock value of the terminology,
Yeah.
we will explain exactly what that means in a structural sense. What Collison is actually doing is a very sophisticated psychoanalytic reading of Edward Nygma. He's taking a character we've all known for decades, the guy in the green suit, and asking a fundamental question that most comics just gloss over. Why does a genius behave like an idiot?
Exactly. Because on paper, the Riddler makes no sense. And that's our mission today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to unpack this theory that moves beyond the surface level idea that Riddler is just obsessed with puzzles.
Or a narcissist just showing off.
Right. We're going to look at the argument that his entire criminal career is actually a form of intellectual cuckolding.
It sounds wild, I know. But stick with us. When you look at the evidence, it starts to make a scary amount of sense.
So to understand this, we have to start with the problem itself, the win condition.
Right.
In game theory, or even just basic storytelling, every character has a goal, a state of affairs they want to achieve. If they get X, they win.
Exactly. And if you look at the Gotham Rogues gallery, those conditions are usually rational, or, at least they're consistent with human nature.
Right. Let's look at the heavy hitters. The Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot. He wants social status, money, political power.
He steals the diamond, becomes mayor, he wins. Simple.
Or Poison Ivy.
Cool.
She has an ecological ideology. She wants plants to take over. If the vines crush the city, she wins.
Correct. Even the Joker, who's all about chaos, has a win condition. He wants to break Batman's spirit.
He wants to prove a philosophical point.
If Batman kills him, or if Batman laughs at the joke, Joker wins.
But then you have the Riddler. Edward Nygma is arguably one of the smartest people in the DC universe. His intellect rivals Batman's.
Who easily?
If his goal was simply to commit a crime, get rich, and retire, he could do it in his sleep.
No question. Think about his skill set. He could hack the Gotham Stock Exchange, siphon off millions, scrub the logs, and be sipping Mai Tais in a non-extradition country before Gordon even turns on the bat signal. He's genuinely brilliant.
But he never does that. He doesn't just rob the bank. He robs the bank and leaves a literal roadmap in the form of a riddle.
A riddle that leads the police right to his doorstep.
And that's the paradox. The clues aren't mistakes. They're not slip-ups. In any other criminal enterprise, leaving evidence is a failure.
For the Riddler, leaving the evidence is the enterprise. As Ryan Collison points out in the article, the crime itself is secondary. It's almost just an excuse to get the game started.
The standard explanation we've always heard is, ego. We're told he's a narcissist. He can't help but brag. I'm so smart. Catch me if you can.
That's the surface reading. But the source argues it just falls apart under scrutiny.
Collison makes a brilliant point here. A true narcissist would rig the game to win.
Oh, interesting.
If I'm a narcissist, I want to prove I'm untouchable. I want to commit the perfect crime that no one can solve and then sit back and laugh while everyone runs in circles.
Right. A narcissist wants to confirm their superiority. Riddler rigs the game specifically so he can be caught.
He rigs it to lose. But, and this is key, he rigs it to lose to a specific person.
To Batman.
And that's where we have to pivot our understanding of what the crime actually is. Collison describes it not as the main event, but as foreplay.
Foreplay. Okay, let's unpack that, because that implies this is about a relationship. It is entirely about the relationship. He creates a complex puzzle and delivers it to one specific individual, Batman. It's an invitation. It's a courtship. He's saying, I have built this intricate mental structure. Come inside and look at it.
Which brings us to a very specific, fancy term the source uses, epistemophilia.
Yes, let's break that down. Epistem meaning knowledge, and philia meaning love or attraction.
The love of knowing.
In psychoanalysis, it's the erotic investment in knowledge. It's the pleasure of knowing, and crucially, the pleasure of being known.
So we aren't talking about physical sex here. We're saying that for the Riddler, his drive, his sexuality effectively is organized around intelligence.
Correct. The source puts it quite bluntly. Riddler doesn't want physical intimacy with Batman. He doesn't want to wrestle him like Bane or seduce him like Catwoman. He wants his mind penetrated by Batman.
That is a vivid image.
But it makes sense. The riddles are a display. He's saying, look at my mental architecture. Look how beautiful and complex it is.
And when Batman solves the riddle,
That is the moment of consummation. Batman is saying, I see you, I understand you, I've untangled your defenses and found the truth you hid inside.
so every time Batman solves a riddle, Riddler gets the only thing he actually wants. Proof that there's someone else on Earth smart enough to truly see him.
Exactly. And this is where the Cuck dynamic comes in. And again, we're using this term structurally, not just as, internet slang.
Right.
In a cuckolding scenario, the satisfaction for the cuck does not come from doing the deed. It comes from watching.
It's about being a spectator to someone else's performance.
It is about witnessing a superior partner perform an act that you cannot or choose not to perform yourself. It's a triangular dynamic. You have the setup, the act, and the witness.
Okay, so let's map that onto Gotham City. How does that triangle look?
Riddler sets up the crime. He builds the death trap. He writes the code. He plants the bomb. That's the setup. That's him preparing the bed, so to speak.
And then Batman arrives.
Batman arrives and solves the puzzle. He disarms the bomb. He cracks the code. That's the act. That's the consummation.
And where is the Riddler while this is happening?
He's watching. He is always watching. He's on a screen in the warehouse, or he's behind bulletproof glass, or he's monitoring a hidden camera feed back at his base.
The payoff for him isn't getting away with the money.
No, the payoff is witnessing Batman demonstrate superiority. Every solved riddle is Riddler effectively saying, you're better than me, prove it. Let me watch you prove it.
It's like he's building a pedestal for Batman to stand on.
Yes, there's an erotic structure to it. Anticipation, the penetration of the mystery, and the release when the solution is found. He's being mentally dominated by the only person he considers worthy.
This theory actually explains a specific comic arc that the source mentions, which I think is really important to talk about. Scott Snyder's 0 Year.
0 Year is the perfect case study for this. It is the smoking gun for this theory. In that storyline, the Riddler actually wins.
He wins.
He completely defeats the police. He shuts down the power grid. He isolates the city. He is technically the ruler of Gotham.
Right. He has total control. This should be the end of the story. He's won.
And what does he do with that victory? Does he set up a government? Does he run a criminal empire?
No. He sets up a game show.
He sets up a game show. I remember this. He puts a giant screen up in the middle of the ruined city and challenges Batman to answer riddles on live TV.
Exactly. He creates a massive public spectacle specifically to be defeated. At the moment of his greatest power, his deepest drive is to create conditions for Batman to demonstrate his brilliance.
For an audience.
He wants witnesses.
He wants everyone to see it. He wants the world to know that he, Riddler, built a perfect system, and Batman was smart enough to take it apart. It's humiliation, but for him, that humiliation is fuel.
That is such a twisted paradox. He would rather lose to a genius than win against an idiot.
Precisely. If Batman failed to solve the riddles, Riddler would actually be devastated. It would mean he's alone again. It would mean there's no one on his level.
But by losing, he confirms that there is a god of intellect out there and that he has touched him.
This really flips the idea of his narcissism on its head. We usually think of narcissism as, I am the best.
Right. But Riddler's narcissism is inverted. It isn't, I am the smartest.
It is, I am smart enough to recognize the smartest.
He needs to be in proximity to genius. The riddles are essentially love letters. They're gifts that say, I made this intricate mental knot for you, only you are worthy of untying it.
It's the concept of minds touching.
Cognitive consummation.
Yes. When Batman solves the puzzle, he has to think like the Riddler. He has to inhabit Riddler's brain to see the pattern. For a moment, they're intellectually synchronized. For Riddler, that is the most intimate thing imaginable.
But here's the million-dollar question, and the source touches on this. Why does Batman play along?
That is a fascinating part of the analysis. Because logically, Batman has the tech. He has the brute force. He could probably just track Enigma down via satellite.
Or just punch his way through the henchmen without solving the riddles. Right? The riddles actually slow him down. They waste time.
But he always solves them. He engages with the premise. Collison argues that Batman also needs this.
In what way? Because Batman usually seems pretty annoyed by Enigma.
Think about Batman's job. It's mostly physical. It's chasing, punching, intimidating, enduring pain.
Traversing the sewers and the shadows.
But Bruce Wayne is a genius. He has a brilliant, analytical, detective mind that rarely gets a pure workout in a fistfight with Killer Croc or Bane.
So Riddler is brain training.
It's cognitive play. It's a workout for a different part of Bruce's brain lateral thinking, pattern recognition. It's the only relationship in the Rogues Gallery that is based on pure cognition.
So in a weird way, Riddler is giving Batman permission to be smart, to just play with a puzzle for a minute amidst all the violence.
Exactly. It's reciprocal. Riddler gets to be witnessed, Batman gets to be challenged. They are giving each other something they can't get from anyone else.
But, and there's a big but here, it's tragic, isn't it? Because the source points out that this is fundamentally unrequited.
Oh, it's the tragedy of the fan, or the groupie. For Riddler, Batman is the main character. Batman is the love object. This relationship is Riddler's entire life.
He spends months planning these crimes just for 5 minutes of Batman's attention.
And for Batman, Riddler is a Tuesday. He's a nuisance. He ranks below the Joker, below Bane, below Ra's al Ghul. He's just an annoying guy leaving puzzles.
Ouch. That hurts just hearing it.
But the source suggests a final twist. The not caring might be the hottest part for the Riddler,
How so?
because it reinforces the power dynamic. Riddler doesn't want an equal. He wants a god. The fact that Batman treats him with dismissal, the fact that Batman is aloof and superior, just proves that Batman is that figure that Riddler wants to worship.
So if Batman actually stopped and said, "Hey, Edward, good job, let's hang out," it would ruin it.
It would shatter the fantasy. The distance is required.
This brings up the idea of the Batman polycule that the article mentions. It's a funny way to frame it, but it looks at the Rogues Gallery as a relationship system.
It's a really useful framework. If you look at Batman's villains as different types of partners, you have Catwoman and Talia al Ghul, who threaten emotional or romantic entanglement.
They want to be with Batman in a traditional sense.
Then you have the Joker.
Whoa, yeah.
The Joker threatens by seeing too much, by mirroring Batman's insanity. That's a toxic, intense intimacy where boundaries are dissolved.
And then there's Riddler.
Riddler is safe. He's the submissive. He demands no reciprocity. He demands no vulnerability. He just wants to set up the game and watch Batman win.
He's the one in the polycule who is just happy to be allowed in the room. He's the fanboy.
He's the ultimate fanboy. He became a supervillain just to get the autograph of the guy he admires.
When you lay it out like that, it makes his behavior in every comic and movie make so much more sense. The manic energy, the frustration when Batman ignores him, the sheer delight when Batman solves the clue.
It recontextualizes everything. He isn't failing to be a criminal mastermind. He is succeeding at being an intellectual submissive.
So we've gone from "The Riddler's a cuck" as a funny headline to actually seeing it as a comprehensive psychological profile.
It's a testament to how complex these archetypes are. We keep retelling these stories because they tap into these deep, sometimes weird, human drives.
The drive to be known. The drive to submit to something greater than yourself.
The drive to have your intellect recognized. It really makes you think about what winning actually means.
That's the core takeaway for me. We assume winning means getting the money or conquering the city. But for Edward Nygma, winning is being defeated by the right person.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought from the source material. We talked about the humiliation element.
Right, how Riddler gets beaten at the one thing he's supposed to be good at, being smart.
For most of us, if you built your identity on being a genius and someone proved you wrong publicly, it would destroy you. You'd quit. You'd move to Metropolis and get a quiet job in IT.
But Riddler comes back every single time.
Because the humiliation is the fuel. And it raises this question. If you are getting exactly what you want, which is the thrill of being bested by a superior intellect, are you actually losing?
Or are you playing a completely different game than everyone else is seeing?
He's playing 4D chess, and the checkmate is on himself. And he loves every minute of it.
As long as Batman solves the riddle, the cycle continues. That is weirdly inspiring, or maybe just disturbing, I'm not sure, but it is definitely fascinating.
It is certainly a unique way to live.
Well, thanks for diving deep with us today. I am never going to watch a Batman movie the same way again. Next time I see a question mark, I'm going to see a heart.
You might be the only one, but the theory stands.
See you next time, everyone. Keep puzzling.